Okay, so actually, guys, today inshallah we're gonna start in the material of quarter three. So we'll start in chapter 12 in physical science. So we are gonna talk about new branch of science which is chemistry. Okay, so we're gonna talk about something somehow you know about it before. Okay, in last year, we studied the discovery of atom, what the structure of atom, and so on, and so the periodic table. So now we're gonna pass one step forward, okay, and we're gonna talk about how the atoms behave or how the atoms could bond and start to react together. So what we're gonna talk about is the chemical reaction. So we're gonna start by lesson one, understanding the chemical reaction. What is a chemical reaction? So here, that's the first lesson. Let's check here what we need to know by the end of this lesson. By the end of this lesson, we should be able to answer the following question. What are some signs that chemical reaction might have occurred? What happens to atoms during chemical reaction? And what happens to the total mass in a chemical reaction? So the three questions represent the three basics of chemical reaction. So the new vocabulary which we're gonna use this in that lesson: chemical reaction, chemical equation, reactant, product, law of conservation of mass, coefficient. Okay, so here we're gonna find something. Sorry, guys. So like this is the new vocabulary. We're gonna discover each one one by one. Okay. Yes, Nano. You want us
Hello,
to?
is this in the Earth book or the
No,
physical?
physical book, physical science.
ماشي اوكي.
Okay.
طب
As I
mister,
said.
we don't have that.
Okay, I said you could use the online, the one which is already found in your SD card, okay, in your tab, the electronic form, or you can ask, okay, just to change it, manage it with the administration. You can ask the administration where the bookstore is open to just change the book, or I'm gonna upload, okay, this part, or I can upload it as a PDF for you, okay, on the SMS, okay. So all
Okay.
these alternatives are found. Just pay attention and let's start. So here we're gonna start talk about the chemical reaction. What is chemical reaction? So anyone have an idea in your own words? What do you think? What is chemical reaction? What happens once we say a chemical reaction? What comes in your mind? Just raise your hand. Okay. Uh, yes, Reem.
مثلا to change a substance into product or something.
So changing some substance into products. So actually use some terms. Okay. So changing some. So we can change substance into. Who can say? Yes, Maya.
It's when like a substance is put in another substance, then it reacts.
So two substances react together. So once they react, what is going to happen?
They change into another thing.
So they produce a new thing. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that's the point. So the keyword here changed to a new thing. Okay, that's the part which we say. So two substances or maybe more, okay, or whatever the number of these substances, they are gonna do something that leads to formation of new substance. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay, that means chemical reaction considered as a change in that substance or change in a matter. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my question is, do all the changes that could happen to a matter consider a chemical reaction? That means any change that could happen to the
No.
matter consider a chemical reaction. Like for example, if I get some of water and I start to freeze them, turn them into ice, or evaporate them, turn them into water vapor, is it considered a chemical reaction?
No.
Why?
No. Because like it's the same substance برضه يعني.
Yeah,
It changes
still water, but just a change in
into solid
Physical
appearance.
Yeah. So let's watch the next video, guys, okay, to find what the difference between, okay, chemical reaction or chemical change and physical change, okay? So I need you just, okay, watch carefully to answer the question. I need to know what the difference between physical change, chemical change, and giving examples for them. So let's start here. Just a minute. Here we said that physical change is just a change in the appearance, okay, the shape of the substance, okay, only, but its structure is still the same. It's still the same substance. Like when we cut a piece of paper, we just turn the piece of paper into smaller pieces, but still paper. Once we evaporate water or freeze water, it turns to ice or vapor, but still water. Okay, so the chemical structure H2O is still the same. It doesn't change. So that's why we call it a physical change. So physical change could be change in shade, size, the appearance of substance, but the chemical structure is still as it is. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
So who can tell me what about dissolving salt in water? Is it considered to be physical change or chemical change? When we add some salt and dissolve it in water, or sugar and dissolve it in water, is it physical change or chemical change?
Mister, are you talking about the
Chemical.
salt changing?
Again, what?
And
What do you
when
say, Judy?
dissolving salt.
Yes,
When
when I dissolve the salt. So this change which happened to the salt, is it considered to be a physical change or chemical change?
Chemical.
Chemical. So if you agree about chemical, raise your hand. Okay. So if you say it's physical change, raise your hand. Others put your hand and let the others get a chance, okay? If you just say it's a physical change. So actually only three in the class, they think it's a physical change, okay? So Fadia, okay, Yusuf and Maya, okay? So like that, okay, we could say this three, okay, or Fadia, sorry, Yusuf and Maya, you are right. It's a physical change. It's not chemical. How? We just add salt in water and the salt completely disappear. Yes or no? So as salt completely disappear, it doesn't mean it's a chemical change, because simply when you taste the water, you're gonna find it's still salty, which means the salt still with its same structure, with the same properties. So, okay, like this, it's just a physical change. We change the shape of the salt only, okay, but still the same chemical structure.
Yeah, but it's still the same thing. Yeah.
Yes. Simply, if you evaporate this salty water, the water will evaporate, turn into vapor, and the salt will remain in the cup or in the beaker, okay? Which means the salt is already found, but it's hide between the water molecules. You got the idea, guys?
I can't understand why it's physical.
Why it's physical? My question to you, Judy, after you adding salt in your food or in the water, okay? And you start to taste this water or adding sugar in a cup of water and taste it, do you find the taste of salt doesn't found or change it, or still as it is salty?
No, still salty.
Which means the salt is already found, but I just can't see it. Yes.
Okay.
So still salt is still as it is, but I can't see it. That means change in the appearance. You get the idea? But the
Yes.
structure is still the same, because if the structure of the salt changes, actually it will not be salty. You got the idea?
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Is it clear for everyone? So always dissolving substances is a tricky part. Most people think dissolving substance is a chemical change, but actually dissolving is a physical change, because it's just the change in the appearance of the substance, but actually its chemical structure is still the same. Okay.
Just can
So,
ask some.
yep, you can ask, of course.
When adding to water, for example, or anything, and form bubbles, it's chemical power.
Yep. Okay, that's a good question. Okay, that's we are gonna just know it after a few minutes. Could you wait with me, Reem?
Yes.
Okay, so here, guys, let's continue to find what is a chemical change, okay, or to know the difference. So let's continue our video. Like that, we could find that chemical change is somehow alternative way to the chemical reaction, or that's mean chemical reaction means a chemical change. And as we observe it here, chemical change is, who can tell me? Who can tell me what is chemical change in your own words, guys? Yes, Maya?
Chemical change is the change in the chemical structure and not the shape and the shape and chemical
Yes.
structure. Yeah.
So here, that's the point. Chemical change in the chemical structure, the arrangement of atoms. The atom rearrange in different way, or they arrange them in new pattern, forming new substance, completely different than the first one which we start. Okay, is it clear? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So like this, burning a paper is the best example or one of the examples of a chemical reaction, because simply once you burn the paper, it will turn to ashes and carbon dioxide and something like that. So we cannot return back into paper, and actually they are new substances. They are different in shape, different in the chemical structure and everything. So that's clear chemical reaction. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Anyone can't understand the difference between chemical change and physical change, guys?
No, thank you.
Okay,
No.
so actually in our lesson today, we are gonna just concern about the chemical change. We will not concern about physical change. We just know what's physical change, but what we need to talk about is a chemical reaction. So here we said that the changes in a matter could be a physical change, okay, which does not produce a new substance. It's just changing in the state, shape, or appearance of the matter, okay? For example, water molecules are always made of two hydrogen atoms bonded to oxygen atom, regardless of whether these are going to be solid, liquid, or gas. That means evaporating of water or freezing water, okay, or heating water. All of these just kind of physical changes because they still the same structure of water without no change. So now we pass to the second type, chemical change. We said that in chemical change, one or more, new substance are going to be formed. So we could say the definition of a chemical reaction is the process in which atoms of one or more substances rearrange. Rearrange, that means the atoms will not be in the same pattern where they was in the beginning of the reaction, or in the on the original position. They are going to change their arrangement and forming a new substance. Okay, let's clarify the idea here. Okay, for example, let's imagine to these guys, if we just have, okay, substance A, okay, we have a molecule of A substance. Two A atoms are bonded to each other, okay, and another molecule which is B. Two B atoms are bonded together. Okay, so how many substances do we have here, guys? How many substance? Two. We have two substances, substance A and substance B. So
B.
once we add them together, okay, we're gonna find that, let's see what's gonna happen in chemical reaction, the steps of chemical reaction. First of all, the bonds are broken. So the first step, bonds are broken. So like this, we're gonna have 3 A atoms and 3 B atoms. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Then these atoms gonna arrange themselves. Each A atom will be attracted to one of B, so they will be arranged like that. Okay. So what is the new substance which is formed? What the new substance which is formed? Yes, Nano? Yes, Nano? What the new substance which is formed?
AB.
AB. So here like this, we started by two different substances. Substance A reacts with substance B to produce new substance which is AB. Is it clear, guys, here?
Yes.
So let's find here what are the three steps of any chemical reaction. Any chemical reaction passed by three steps. 1, 2, 3. So what are the three steps? First step, breaking of bonds, okay, between the atoms of the substances or the reactants, the substance which start the reaction. Then the atoms, okay, rearrange themselves. They become free and start to rearrange. The A will be attracted to B, and finally forming a new bond, okay, here. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Any hard question?
No, thank you.
So like this, once we need to make a definition for a chemical reaction, we're going to say it's a process in which the atoms rearrange, okay, to form new chemical substances. So let's back to our presentation. So here, chemical reaction, the process in which atoms of one or more substances rearrange to form one or more new substances. Now we pass to the most important part, which Reem is already asking about. If you are in the lab and you are making a chemical reaction, you have two substances, okay, and you start to put them together in the same tube. So how could you know that this substance already react or not? How could you figure this out? I must observe some signs. I must observe some change. Yes or no? Yep.
Yes.
So this, which we call it signs of chemical reaction. What we need to observe, okay, to know that the chemical reaction is already done or it's already working. Because do you know there are some chemicals when we add them together, they do not react. Okay, like for example, when you add oil to water, they will not react. Yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
So like this, there is no chemical reaction. Why? Because there is no change. I can't observe any kind of change. But other chemicals which react together, once we add them in the same beaker or in the same container, whatever this container is, a beaker, a tube, a cup, whatever, they are gonna give you a sign that there is. What are the signs that we could observe? Let's watch this video, guys, together to find, okay, what is.
طب Mister, I have a question before
Yeah.
the video يعني.
Yeah, you are welcome.
Yes. Why does the oil the only thing that doesn't react with water?
What?
Why does the oil is the only thing that doesn't يعني
Okay, as we watch in the video, we could just say the different signs of a chemical reaction. Who can tell me what are different signs of chemical reaction? Okay, let's try here. What are signs of chemical reaction? I'm gonna write what you're gonna say. Let's start. Yes, Nano?
Changing composition.
No, changing composition, that the chemical reaction itself, what I observed, that what I could see with my eyes.
ماشي يبقى changing state.
Change in a state. So change in a state, that mean, okay, gas formation, for example. Yes.
With changing of color.
Just a minute. Gas formation. And also change of state could be solid formation. Actually, gas formation, okay, that's which it could observe as bubbles. Solid formation, we call it precipitation. Do you know precipitation? That means something solid that is gonna be at the bottom of the beaker, okay? 3, okay, who can tell me? Maya, yes?
Changing color.
Color change, good, okay. So color change, okay. And the fourth
change in
one,
temperature.
change in temperature, or could say it energy change, okay. So energy change, that means could be change in temperature, okay. Could be like, for example, as with temperature, it can be, or it could be light. As we observe it, some reactions produce light. Light is a form of energy, which means already as energy changes, there is a reaction happen. Could be sound, because do you know some reactions already explode and making sound, okay. So all these, we consider them are different, or they are the 4 observations.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Farid. Okay, so here we said that these 4 observations, they consider, okay, the signs of a chemical reaction. Once you observe one of these signs while you are making a reaction in the lab, it means the chemical substances you add to each other, they already react and they are gonna produce a new substance. Okay, so any hard question regarding to this part, guys? Yes.
Oh, the smell, like the smell, like
yeah,
change.
smell, it means that there is a gas is formed, okay, so it produces, okay, and this is smell. But actually, okay, we don't depend on the smell too much in lab. Smell and taste is not good to use in lab too much, because you know some chemical reactions, they are poison, they are toxic, and they produce poisonous gases and so on. So we don't like to smell a lot or taste in lab. We depend always on the observation or the visual observation that you could easily see with your eyes. You get the idea?
Yes.
Okay, so here like this, okay, we said that here, if substance get, okay, warmer or cooler, that means it's a change in temperature, okay, that means a chemical reaction already happened, okay. So then also we said here, okay, the only way to know that the chemical reaction occurred is to study the chemical properties of substance before and after. That means just find what are the changes, okay. So any hard question here, guys? Any hard question? So please, okay, study this part carefully from your textbook, okay. If you have any question or something not clear, I'm waiting for your question next time. Anyone have any question before we end our meeting, guys?
Mister, can you upload the PDF for it on Smart School?
Inshallah, yes, I'm gonna play it today, inshallah. So any hard question, guys?
Mister.
Yep.
No.
Mr. Why, Mr. The oil يعني substance doesn't mix with water.
No, a lot of substance mixed with water. Vinegar mixes with water. Okay, salt mixes with water. Sugar mixes with water. Okay, alcohol mixes with water. Okay, so some substance could mix and others. You just think about oil and lipids, fats. Okay, that's because the difference in density they cannot mix, or because actually they are not that polar. Okay, so there is depend on something called polarity and density. We're gonna talk about this later, inshallah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So any other question, guys?
Mister, will you upload the PowerPoint on SMS?
I'm gonna upload it now. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you, guys. Goodbye.